Hello my friends, welcome to Anna's Violets. In this video, I'm gonna talk to you about all problems related to the leaves of our spider plants, chlorophytum, and this is actually a very common problem because so many people comment that the leaves of their plants, of their spider plants, are turning brown, are turning black, are turning yellow, there are dry tips and they don't know what is the problem, how to fix it. Well, I would say there are more or less three main problems with the leaves of our spider plants, and number one is that the leaves turn yellow, number two is that the leaves turn brown, and number three is that the tips of the leaves turn brown and get dry. So let's talk about all these problems step by step and also what is the reason for this and how we can fix it. So problem number one is that the leaves turn yellow. Well, first of all, it really depends which leaves, because if the older leaves turn yellow, this is absolutely normal because with the time the old leaves will fade away, will turn yellow or brown, and they will also get dry if you don't remove them. Here I have a couple of leaves brown, but these are all older leaves, which means that it's absolutely normal. The leaf has already grown its period, so to say, and now the plant doesn't need it anymore. So it's absolutely normal if actually any of your plant loses a couple of leaves which are older leaves. If this is happening with the young leaves, with the new growth, that's definitely a problem. So if we see that the leaves of our spider plants turn yellow, then there is a problem if it's a younger leaf, as I've already mentioned. So what can cause this problem? Well, first of all, of course, cold temperatures. If especially in the autumn, in winter, if the temperatures drop, you can notice that the leaves of your spider plants will turn yellow. This is kind of the first sign that there is a problem. The plant can even start to get rotten, so you need to move it immediately into a warmer place. And even though these plants are very low maintenance plants, you can basically just water them, not fertilize them, just put them in a warm, bright place and they will grow, they will bloom. Of course, if the area is brighter, however, without direct sunlight, then these plants will be always in bloom in spring, in summer, till the end of autumn. And then you can see that all these pups are growing in the place of the flowers. So first the plant will flower, and then after the flowering you will see the pups growing. However, this can also happen at the same time. So on some of my flower spikes I have seen also flowers, but also with the pups. So this is kind of the amazing period where you can see also the babies growing, and especially they're in the air. Sometimes they even grow aerial roots when it's very humid. So it's a very beautiful period for this plant. However, if the temperatures drop, we can notice that the leaves turn yellow. For example, here, the reason for this is cold temperatures. And also this can be caused by overwatering. So if you overwater the plants, you will still notice that the leaves first turn yellow and then they will also turn brown as well. So be careful with watering and the low temperatures. However, you can also see that some leaves have kind of a brown, the tips get brown, but then there is also this white yellow line on the leaves. This is an indicator for you that you are overwatering. Well, for now the plant will be fine, but if this continues, if more leaves will turn this yellow and brown, you will be running the risk of losing your plant because the whole plant can get rotten. This basically means that you are overwatering, the soil stays moist for a longer period of time, it doesn't get dry, the plant doesn't need that much water, and first the roots can get rotten, and you can see also on the leaves that okay, there is a problem with watering, and then if you don't stop, if you continue watering it more and more, eventually the whole plant will suffer and the whole roots can actually get rotten. So this is a sign that you need to regulate the watering. The next problem is that if the leaves turn brown, again, it really depends if it's just brown or if it's brown with a yellow line. So if you will notice that it's basically with the yellow line, it's overwatering. And as well as low temperatures and also basically not enough bright light. And you can also see that some leaves can be drooping. So this can be caused by overwatering, but also underwatering. So if you water them less, which can happen actually more, I would say, in spring, in summer, where plant needs more watering, but you a little bit delay watering and the soil is dry, you can see that the leaves are drooping a little bit. But when you water, they will need to recover and you will see that everything is fine. It really depends how damaged will be the leaves, because if they are long and they're heavy, they can be kind of folded from the middle, and this is basically already a physical damage. You can push it back a little bit to straighten them, but they have already this line that kind of breaks the leaf from the middle. So to avoid this, you will need to keep the soil moist in the summer months, in spring. But again, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, if you overwater it in winter, then it can also cause other problems. So you will need to find kind of a balance. But also the reason for drooping leaves can be low light, especially in winter again, because lack of light may cause the leaves growing leggy, and especially the bigger leaves that are heavier, again, they can grow leggy, can droop, and can eventually again break. So to avoid this, maybe in the winter, move it to the closer to the windows, or you can also have additional grow light to help with the growth of this plant. And to avoid the problem with brown dry tips on your spider plants, it's basically increasing the humidity of the air. And you can spray the plant. That's of course one of the solutions, and I was doing it myself, but I must say that it's very short term solution, and also you will need to remember to go around and spray your plant, which is very time consuming as well. We don't really have that much time to go and spray our plants, especially if we don't have just one or two, but many. And I know that many of us have many plants. So I would say, and I would definitely recommend using a humidifier, which I've been using for a couple of months already, and I will link the video here also if you would like to see how it works, which one I used, and what are the benefits. So to make sure that you're growing a lush spider plant, try to avoid overwatering. Also underwatering, just look at your plant and see, kind of try to feel if it needs watering or not. You can also look at the soil, touch it, and then you will feel if you need to water it less or water it more. And of course, very bright area, but not direct sunlight, and also not cold area. A bright light, it will be just the best for these plants. Use a humidifier if you notice that the tips start to get dry and brown, and if you see yellow lines, then you are definitely overwatering, so reduce it. And in this case, it just regulating the watering, the light, the temperature, the air humidity. This will help the plant grow a lot of pups, be lush and green, and also grow this many beautiful babies and flower. Hope this was helpful. If you have any comments, questions, please share them under the video, and I will be happy to answer them. And of course, stay passionate about plants. I will see you in the next one.